While this video is intended to explore why Chainsaw Man is worth reading, it will feature heavy spoilers for the first chapter of the series. If you're the kind of person that wants to go into a series completely blind, I implore you to click off this video and go read the series. However, if you're on the fence over whether a series about a young boy turning into a chainsaw is for you, then this video is for you. And for those who've already read the manga, get ready for a deep dive into the first chapter and what makes Chainsaw Man one of the greatest series I've ever read. Chainsaw Man is a series written by Tatsuki Fujimoto and published in Shonen Jump between 2018 and 2020. The author had previously done a one-shot or two, as well as a series known as Fire Punch, which honestly I haven't read, but I've heard it's quite worth a read as well. Shonen Jump is a serialized manga publisher that releases some of the all-time classic shonen series, from Dragon Ball to Naruto to One Piece, and popular newer series like My Hero Academia. Chainsaw Man, in contrast, stands on the opposite side of the hall compared to these guys. Like, he doesn't really fit in. Many would look at this series from the outside and see nothing more than a gory, ridiculous concept for an action series. However, the people who pass on the series for this reason are missing out on one of the most emotionally compelling and well-written series out there. And that's what this video is for, to run through the events of the first chapter and show the depth and emotional resonance of the story and its characters. For the purposes of this video, I'll be showing panels from the colored manga on screen, mainly to provide some visual contrast so you're not staring at black and white the whole time. However, if you're planning on reading, I highly recommend reading the original black and white, as the art is really impeccable on that, and get the physical version if you can to help support this amazing series. I myself have every volume currently released, and am excited to get the last two volumes when they release a couple months down the line. Now, without further ado, strap in as I explain why you should read Chainsaw Man. Tree cutting gets me 60,000 yen a month. The kidney I just sold, 1,200,000. My right eye, 300,000. Sold one of my nuts for, how much did it go for again? Not even 100,000? That brings my debt down to 38,040,000 yen. Okay already, Puchita, I know. Let's go kill something. Killing just one devil nets me about 300,000. Yep, being a devil hunter is the best way to make some moolah. Chapter 1. Dog and Chainsaw. Shonen protagonists tend to come from humble beginnings. Deku from My Hero is a normal kid who dreams of being a hero. Luffy from One Piece is a low-ranking pirate who wants to collect a crew to search for the legendary treasure. They always start small, so they can grow to be so much more. Chainsaw Man takes the low starting point of most shonen protagonists and drags it all the way down. You see, Denji, our main character, is the son of a horrible father drowning in debt with no mother figure, her having died before he could even remember her. Denji's father, having racked up a debt of millions of yen to the Yakuza, had given up on his life. After taking his own life and leaving his son all alone, Denji, still a young boy, was stuck with the debt. And if he couldn't pay it back, the Yakuza would tear him apart to sell on the black market. Already much more dire circumstances than your traditional protagonist's humble beginnings. As if by fate, Denji encounters a small dog sprouting a chainsaw blade out of its head. It's a devil, a beast that feasts on human blood to grow stronger and regenerate from injuries. Denji, having already given up on his life, offers it freely to the approaching devil, who falls injured at his feet. Seeing the same look in the devil's eyes as his late father, he offers his blood as a contract. He will save the poor devil, and the devil will save him. Using the devil as a living chainsaw, Denji proves himself useful to the Yakuza and scores a gig as a devil hunter. Years pass, and through killing devils and selling his own body parts, Denji has paid back some of the debt his father is owed, but nowhere near enough. Denji is desperate and will do anything to make even the tiniest bit of money, even eating a cigarette for a measly 100 yen. The man who offers this deal to Denji refers to him as Fido, a common name for a dog. Cause Denji, like a dog, will do anything his master orders, no matter how degrading, humiliating, or life-threatening it is. Keep this comparison in mind as it'll come up again later. With barely enough money left over to survive, Denji and his pet devil, Puchita, live on sliced bread alone. While stuck in their rundown shack, Denji shares his dreams with his only friend. So hungry, I can't sleep. When I can't sleep, I think about my debt, and then it's even harder to fall asleep. Oh, I know. This is what I'll dream of when I fall asleep tonight. I'll spread jam on sliced bread and eat it with you. I'll flirt and stuff with a girl. We'll play video games in our room together, and I'll fall asleep in her arms. If dreams do come true, I want to hug a girl before I die. Good dream, right? Immediately after this short reprieve into dreams, Denji coughs up blood, recalling how his mother died the same way. This is clearly not your typical shonen protagonist. This is a kid who was born into the lowest low and was only dragged deeper through mistakes that were not his own that he has to take on the repercussions of. Most shonen protagonists have grand dreams, but Denji's are incredibly modest in comparison. Dreaming of eating bread with jam and hugging a girl, such small, insignificant goals. But once he knows that he won't ever be able to reach. When the Yakuza arrive to escort him into another devil hunting mission, he thinks to himself, wish they'd at least let me dream. Denji knows his life is over. It had never even begun. But he keeps on keeping on, just to dream of a life he will never have. But Denji is unaware of just how little time he has left.
Denji, boy, we're grateful to you, you know.
Oh, yes, sir.
You're obedient like a dog, and you work for cheap treats like one too.
Uh-huh.
Thing is, I hate dogs. I can't stand the smell. We Yakuza boys, we wanted to get stronger too, to make more money. So we decided to do like you and make our own deal with the devil. What we want is the devil's power.
And what I want is the deaths of all devil hunters.
The Yakuza had sold their soul to the devil, more specifically the zombie devil, and now Denji's life is coming to an end. As the devil unleashed his horde of zombies upon the boy, Denji thinks to himself, just dreaming of a normal life was enough for me. Do I not even get to have that much? The boy and his dog, chopped into tiny pieces, just as the Yakuza promised, are thrown in the dumpster to rot. But Pochita isn't dead just yet, as the blood trailing down from Denji's corpse allows him to regenerate and remember a certain someone's kind words. I heard some devils can take over dead bodies. If you're one of them, then I want to give my body to you. If you wait till after I'm in the ground, I bet even the Yakuza won't come after you. Then you could leave this town, and then, yeah. I want you to live a normal life and die a normal death. Make my dreams come true for me. Chains pull together the torn apart boy, and as Pochita fuses into his heart, he makes one last contract with Denji. He'll give Denji his heart on the condition that Denji shows him the dreams that he spoke of through all their nights together. As Denji snaps awake, the zombie devil sicks his goons on the boy once more. With one quick reflection on the nature of dreams, and being content with the life you have, Denji proclaims his act of defiance and pulls the ripcord on his chest. And what precedes is one of the most intense spectacles I've ever read. I'll give you one last chance to pause the video and read it for yourself. If the story has piqued your interest thus far, but you still aren't sold, the rest of the video is here for you. That's enough time. Now on to what makes this fight so great. The zombies, having all piled on the young boy, seem to have won without a fight, when suddenly the blade of a chainsaw slices through the body of the zombie in front of him. With an explosion of blood and guts, the rest of the zombies are torn apart as Denji, having transformed into the Chainsaw Man, bursts from the pile. His head mimicking that of a chainsaw's body and blade, and two other chainsaw blades extending from the center of his arms, seemingly splitting his hands down the middle. Denji leaps from the pile of corpses, shoves his blade arm through the eye of the devil, into the next panel before pulling down and tearing through his face. The continuity between these two panels, right here, is incredible. The way Denji's arm works in both panels, clearly shoving through the eye in the first and being the same arm that tore through the head in the second, it provides an excellent sense of continuation between the shots, with a natural flow of motion through the fight that's hard to have come across in manga format. As Denji lands back on the ground, he proclaims, "I know, if I kill every last one of you, it's bye-bye debt." This fight, for only being a few pages, and incredibly one-sided, is an absolute joy to read. All the crap Denji's been put through in his life, he's able to get payback for it all, tearing through the people who were once the ones keeping him in his cage. Denji is now free of his shackles and can finally pursue his dreams for the first time in his life. That is until a trio in suit and tie arrive on the scene. The woman declaring that someone beat them to it. This one line here, that someone beat them to it, instantly carries across the message of who these people are and what they're doing here. A group of devil exterminators. The woman steps forward to see Chainsaw Man, expressing that he doesn't smell like a human or a devil, and asking if he's responsible for the carnage. As the battered and bloody Denji falls to the ground, the only thing on his mind, the one thing he wants, he says to her, "Hold me." And then we're treated to this. For a series about a man who turns into his chainsaw, for as goofy as that concept sounds, for as gory and brutal as the fight we just witnessed was, the reader is greeted immediately after by a panel that can only be described as somber and beautiful. Denji dreamed of hugging a girl before he died, and now, this girl is granted that dream, albeit in reverse. As Denji lays in her arms, she proposes an ultimatum. Be killed by her as a devil, or be kept by her as a pet. Now you might be hearing me say this and thinking, wait, what the hell? But this statement is presented to the reader and Denji as if carrying across the same tone as the hug from earlier. Denji feels at peace and the conversation appears gentle and reassuring. Denji feels content, but in this feeling does not realize that he is still not free. He will still be a dog, forever being controlled by those above him. He isn't free, only changing masters. This realization only came to me upon a second reading, as the tone of the scene makes a first reader feel and believe that Denji's been liberated, and finally has a chance to be happy. But in truth, Denji's life is still in the hands of another. The chapter doesn't end on such a downtrodden note, however, as Denji asks one more question. What would I get for breakfast? The girl responds with, bread with butter and jam, salad, coffee, and maybe dessert. Denji replies, that's the dream come true. Although Denji's life still isn't his own, although he is still someone's dog, he achieved 2 dreams that day. 2 dreams that he never thought were possible. And now, for the first time in his life, Denji has hope. I hope you all enjoyed that video, and if anyone was on the fence about reading Chainsaw Man, I hope I gave you a glimpse of the depth under the surface of this ridiculous story. There are many more characters, Aki, Power, Himino, all with just as much nuance and depth as our main protagonist himself. As well, if you haven't seen it yet, definitely check out that promotional trailer for the Chainsaw Man anime coming out this year. It's being animated by Studio Mappa, and it looks amazing so far. If you guys like this video and want more, I might continue on with this series, taking a look at it chapter by chapter perhaps. But until then, read Chainsaw Man!